Sawtooth Dave, what's up, guys? How y'all doing this week? It's the old Sawtooth back, the stonewashed. Well, I guess it was originally stonewashed, but I put my scale on it and my backspacer on it. This one was living with Will for a while. He just sent it back. So, when you get a knife back, you kind of like can't get it out of your pocket. Yeah, this has been in my pocket for the last few days anyhow. So, love this freaking knife. Of course, Sawtooth Dave, it's in the name, right? So, I think last week I was telling y'all that I did the mods to the Rogovitz Rhino. And this on phosphor bronze. I did put it to work this week. I don't know if you see all the wear on the blade. I chipped a little bit of a tip too, but I'll put it to work. And it's as on phosphor bronze, to me, it's results is much better for what I like on for a work knife anyhow. Like the bearing knives are fun to play with more so, and I failed it right there, of course, on camera. But anyway, like set on phosphor bronze, I kind of wonder why more makers don't do like what Hinderer does, and having to wear Hinderer shirt today, one I got from Blade. So I figured, why not talk about Hinderers for a second? I mean, put a shirt on. At least got to carry one, right? So of course I got one on me today. But I guess like the tri-way thing that Hinderers always, or has not always, but has pretty much perfected at this point. Like that's a genius, that thing. Like it's simple but easy to use. And I don't know why more manufacturers don't kind of offer more, at least in a production wise, to give everybody a choice of what they want. That was the Eclipse. This is the XM18. Both of those came from my bro Aaron. Thanks again, Aaron, for both of those. And he's got wicked nasty edges on them. I don't know if you can see that in camera or not, but that's one thing I got to improve on. I mean, I can sharpen, but I'm not the best sharpener. So like here, case in point, this is my Project X, and this one's been through work too. But I mean, it's got an edge on it, but it's not nearly as bling blingy. But I don't know if bling blingy makes a damn, but I just gotta get better at it, especially if I want to move into like possibly making stuff in the future. Like you can't put something out with some shitty edge. At least I won't want to. That was obviously the Project X, and God, I'm still wanting to try to do the scales for the three guys I know that want them. I'm trying, man, but mill's still down. I got to get help. I looked at it again this morning trying to figure something out, but I don't know what's going on, man. I'm a machinist. I'm not an electrician or maintenance or anything of that stuff. So I'm gonna have to figure some of that stuff out. But I think at this point I've exhausted everything that I could possibly do. There might be a transformer issue. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. And so lastly, last tender is the 24. This one's not the tri-way, but it's on phosphor bronze. I put it on phosphor bronze, and I think I had made washers for it originally, and then I took one of those kits, phosphor bronze kits, out of the other ones and put phosphor bronze on this one, and never looked back. To me, it's the best. Like I love it on phosphor bronze personally. I want to do something with the Project X. I might put it on washers too, but I don't know. Like, you know how it is, man. You kind of get used to a certain knife's action, and if you put them on phosphor bronze, it slows down. It's not an action knife anymore. And some of these smaller knives, like the Project X, is pretty much what I would consider like a backup. I rarely carry this one as full duty or main knife or whatever else. It's usually like this will do it at times. Like I've carried this one by itself. I don't know why. That's probably as capable, if not more capable, than this is. But for whatever reason, it's got to be a big chunker for me to feel. I don't know. Whatever I like having a big knife in my pocket. I guess why. I don't know. Anyway, moving on from there, I guess. Lots of ramblings this week. I ain't really got nothing to talk about. I got a few things to show you, but I ain't really got nothing to talk about. So I'm just kind of BSing a little bit. The one thing I do have to talk about is courtesy of Steve Clare. Michael Vanganino, he's one of the owners of the, what is that, Train 365 or whatever, and I think he helped invent or discover, I don't know, something about that steel they use, Train 365 or whatever it is, something like that. What is it? I don't know the steel. I'm not that familiar with the maker, but anyway, Steve, he's got a really good collection. If you hadn't seen like him and Stevie's video going over Steve Clare's collection, I highly recommend watching it, because Steve has a very vast collection, very cool stuff, and he usually only has one or two from every maker. He told me they just basically wanted to try out something from a Master Bladesmith, and just wanted to see what a Master Bladesmith's knife was like. So this one is definitely different. Like it's different enough. It's thick enough. Like I dig it. Like for the thickness, the weight of it's good. I can't remember what this is. He told me, and I can't remember. I'm sorry, but it's got some weight to it. You can see all the fit and finish is pretty much top notch, with the exception of like this carbon fibers, that one that's got that copper stuff in it. and if you run your hand across it, you can feel like little pieces sticking up and stuff. But I think that's pretty common for this type material, so you can't really blame the maker for the material that was chosen to use it. I mean, I don't know if he specified that or someone else did, but personally, I don't want nothing to do with carbon fiber. That stuff's nasty stuff to work with. Never looks right to me. Like, I don't know, it's just one of those materials that, I don't know, some people like it, some people don't. To me, it's not my thing. Like, I got a couple of knives with carbon fiber, had a few with the carbon fiber. It's better than G10 or aluminum. Well, I don't know, I like aluminum pretty good too, but I prefer metal, I guess. Like, the titanium is more what I prefer. But on the action and stuff of this thing, it's pretty cool knife, man. Nothing like out of this world. I think this one's from a few years back. I want to say 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Steven, correct me if I'm wrong. But what a cool knife! What a cool opportunity to check out a knife like this. The fit and finish is just top notch, man. And this is, I don't know, you probably see fingerprints all over it, but this is one of them hand rubs and all that stuff. Like, it's just, you can see the difference between this and a custom knife or a production knife. Pretty much in every aspect of it. It's just such a clean knife build wise. Like, not really nothing to speak of as far as, like, it's not like revolutionary design or action or anything like that, but just the feel of it, the general feel of it, and the fit and finish, man. I keep saying that, but like, it's a real cool knife to check out. So, Mr. Claire, I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna hold on to it for another week or two if you don't mind, man. I only briefly had a chance to mess with it because doing all that construction stuff, you don't want to come in hot and sweaty and start playing with somebody else's stuff. I don't know. I don't anyhow. Let's see what else we got to talk about. Oh yeah, so as I was telling y'all about the shop, starting to get my shop together. So I got the lathe permanently wired up now, finally. It took me forever to get all the electric stuff to do it with. Like, this whole shop, this is basically a shed that was converted into like more of a shop. And then beside me is basically like a 2-car carport that was converted into a shop. So between the both of them, this is what I call my shop. It's only a 50 amp service, so I don't have a great deal of power. So if I'm running one lathe, I can't run the other CNC, or I can't run, which I'm about to show you in here. That's my new belt grinder. I did buy a belt grinder. I have practiced. Well, I had it hooked up for 2 days, and I practiced a little last night, and I reground, and I guess I'll show you that now. So a while back, a bunch of y'all got together and got PTSD to make me this fixed blade. And he said he made 2 because the first one he said he messed up, and so I figured, well, that's a perfect opportunity for me to try. So this one was definitely, this ground different than the other one was. You can see some of the flaws in the grinding. It's not perfect, man, but the dude works by hand. It's pretty obvious to me, like looking at this knife, that he works by hand. So it's not machine done. It's not crisp lines. So I figured I can't fuck up the other one. It's already fucked up. So I started regrinding, and I ended up doing a full flat regrind on it. So this is me 2 days in trying to learn how to grind myself. Basically watched a couple videos and just went for it. But this is it. This is the regrind. I think it looks decent, man. That's not the best, like I had to fix this swedge. His swedge was a little uneven. You can still say it's a little bit thin right here compared to the rest of that. I don't know if you can even make it out in video or not. Plunge grind's not perfect. There's a lot of things I messed up on it, but it's all learning, man. This is basically the first thing I ever put on the grinder. I practiced a little last night, and then came today, and I can still do more. And I put a little bit of a hand edge on it, like not hand, but yeah, freehand. I guess that's what I was trying to say, with the belt. So this is the first time I've ever tried to belt sharpen anything, which is probably horrific, but if I really want to sharpen it, I can get in there and sharpen it. But I use this knife a lot in that shipping container. So I had a piece of plywood. I had to basically delaminate one layer of it so I could put that diamond plate in for a threshold. I'll put a picture in at the end so you can see what I'm talking about. And basically I just wet it down and got this knife and pried up underneath it, just kind of like rotating, prying it, like hammering on it. I was hammering on the back of this thing. Like, it got beat up pretty good, man. I used the shit out of it, and no problems at all heat treat wise. So I figured, hell, it's good heat treat. I'm also grinding into something that I think looks a little better. I wasn't really, and I'm still probably not going to pursue any fixed blade making stuff. Like, it's just not in my wheelhouse to give a damn about. Like, not that I don't dislike fixed blades. It's just not like it's not a passion for me like the folders are. So anyway, that's regrind number 1. Hopefully many more to go. We'll see. I got to find something else to hack in on. So any of you guys got old junky ass piece of crap fixed blade you want somebody to play with, like, or you want to give it to me basically, because I'm gonna fuck it up more than likely, right? I might get something right, and if I do, I'll send it back to you. But yeah, if you got something you want to send my way, help me practice on, hit me up. I'll pay for shipping or whatever. Like, I just think it's gonna be fun to learn how to do stuff like that. And I like to get to that level like BGM of some of the other guys do regrinds. It'd be nice to get to that level. So let me stop it, turn it around. I'm just going to show you the grinder behind you, my little setup that I rigged up. So give me 1 second, I'll show you that. All right, y'all, this is my new grinder. So it's I think it's Taurus. Is that what it is? Let's see it. Taurus CNC. So this guy's, I believe, out of New Mexico. Jason, Brass Brigade Jason's the one that showed me about all this stuff. But this is set up with a flat platen right now, and I also got the wheel for the hollow grinds, which I don't know if I will or won't get good at that, but well, I'm gonna try to get good at everything, I guess. But I had to wire the whole thing up. You can see the wire coming up through here. The controls, this is speed, and then behind here is an exhaust fan that I plumbed into my shop so I can kind of turn it on and get the air suction out of here. It works pretty damn good. I just don't want to plug it in so you guys can actually hear me, but it sucks everything out. But I don't know if you see the ground, it's pretty much covered with stuff. But capacitor, and how to wire it up in here. So you know your old knife cases that you never use anymore, like I found a use for one. Like just made a little box out of it because I didn't have an extra box laying around. So it works for now. It's not like the OSHA ready or nothing like that, but that's my setup for grinding. You can see the plywood I put around here. This is basically the floor in here is that pergola snap-in kind of floor. I don't really care about the floor, but I figured it might burn it from this. After grinding for a little while, I doubt that would ever happen, but you know, I was trying to be preventative, I guess, in case I want to use this for something else in the future. But that's my new grinder. You can see the stand I made was an old RV wheel. I don't know if you can see that or not. And underneath the inside of that's an old pressure plate flywheel kind of setup. So it's got a lot of weight to it. It will move, but it's super freaking heavy. And I might end up coming and putting supports on those walls once I figure out exactly where I want it and what I want to do with it. But that's pretty much, you know, wiring all this stuff up and all the CNC stuff up. That took me a long time. But anyway, that's it in a nutshell. So I guess that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to show you. I'm going to insert a picture of the shipping container done if I can. My wife's got some pictures. I got to try to figure out how to edit it anyhow. So we'll see if I can't figure that stuff out. So you guys can see the final, I guess. I think we got 1 or 2 with it empty. And then once you just put some of the furniture in it, it's packed out full of stuff now. But I know this has been a weird one. Like last few weeks, months, really, honestly, since I got back from Blade Shows. Not been the typical what I like to do as far as video stuff goes, but I'm hoping at this point, now that I'm caught up with projects, obviously I want to be practicing with a grinder, but now that I'm caught up with projects, hopefully I can start getting back to like what I used to do, the sitting and bullshitting more like all about knives kind of thing instead of all about my life. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. I think there's 1 more week for the raffle for Donnie B All Day, so you know, you got a couple bucks, you might want to throw it in there and try to win some cool shit. Or just support the guy. So me personally, I just made a donation. I ain't worried about the raffle because it seems funny to me. But like I've won one of Scav's raffles before. I won a couple from the what do you call it? The Blade. What the hell they call that? Like NRA for blades. What the hell is that called? Damn, I'm blanking, man. You know what I'm talking about. Damn it, man. But anyway, I won a couple raffles that I really didn't mean to. I just wanted to throw bucks that way. So I didn't even enter into the raffle. I just made a donation just to make myself not win. Because I don't want to win nothing no more. Like, I don't know, it seems weird. But like, one of y'all can use that shit. Anyway, I'm rambling. Sunday. And as of right now, I ain't got to work. So I'm back on that grinder in a minute and going to have some more fun. So hope y'all have a great, or had a great weekend. Probably at this point, it probably won't load up till 4 or 5 knowing how slow it works out here. But hope y'all have a great week. Appreciate y'all sticking with me. See y'all later. Guess I need to get that tape up too.